Es muy cerca de Puerto Vallarta.
Exacto, soy como 15 minutos de Puerto Vallarta.
Ah, muy bien. Ok, increíble, ya sí. Soy de, sudafricano y vivo aquí en la Ciudad de México por la última 18 meses por trabajo. Estoy aquí permanentemente. Esa palabra es muy difícil. Y ya, necesito practicar mi español mucho porque es muy básico y es muy simple, pero necesita la próxima nivel, sí.
Próximo nivel. Okay, let me take some notes so I can keep track of what you're saying.
Sí.
Okay, es muy básico. You're going to stay here permanently, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does permanently mean? Like, because you like it and you want to live here forever, or it's the next job contract?
No, so I have a permanent job. I'm a TV sports producer and video journalist for a news agency, and I'm very, very happy here, and I'm very happy in the job. And my contract does not have any expiration date. So, to be honest, I do not see myself move. I can't say I'll live here for absolutely forever, but I'm definitely here for at least the next like 5 years. Like it's not in my plans to move.
Okay, so I imagine your work environment is international. Like you've got bilingual Mexican people, bilingual English speakers, and whatnot.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So and unfortunately, all my work is in English. The fact that I'm here is pretty much for the time difference. All the writing, everything is in English. Spanish obviously would be incredibly helpful, just of course in the work environment, and just because with my work, if I deal with like a press conference or something and the person is speaking in Spanish, which of course is very common in the I'm in the world of sports, by the way, sorry. So you can imagine when there's a Real Madrid press conference, obviously the coach and the players are speaking Spanish and you have to transcribe that verbatim, which at this point, I know I have to transcribe verbatim what's said. Yeah. So anyways, my point, yeah, I've been very basic and simple for a long time, and I feel like I've 100% plateaued, and I just need to, go to the next kind of level. And admittedly, I have been a bit lazy, but not so much lazy. It's just because, to be honest, on the days when I'm not working, I just kind of don't even think, oh, now I must spend this time to learn Spanish. But to be honest, I've been here a long time, so I really want to do it for my own good, and obviously because my entire life is in a Spanish-speaking country.
So it sounds like your position is similar to other professionals I've worked with, where you have a full day in work, sometimes 10, 12-hour days, and then by the time you have time off, you want to have a personal life. You need to let your head rest, so you don't really have the mental space to sit there and do homework and stupid things like that. So to speak.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's 100% what it is. And also sometimes my hours can be pretty random. Like, for example, I missed the last time just because I was genuinely working. But now today, for example, I have today off, but then I'm working tomorrow, and then I work usually about 3 out of the 4 weekends. Unfortunately, it's just the world of sports. So, yes.
Do you cover mainly soccer or anything really?
Anything that's in the news, anything that's newsworthy. And it's to be honest, it's more like a global perspective. So I think I've done maybe in my entirety of my time in the company, I've maybe done like 1 or 2 stories that have been in Mexico. It's very much what's all in the world. Yes.
All right. So do you work like what, 6 days a week?
Pretty much. I work about 5 days a week, but the equivalent of my weekend would be like the odd Monday, or if I have the weekend off, when it would be like a Saturday and a Sunday.
Would you say you typically work like 10-hour days?
It would be about 11 hours. 11. It was from 8 to about 7. Yeah.
Okay. from 11 to 7, and your schedule is very random because you might have Monday off, you might have the weekend off, there might be like a Grand Slam tennis thing, you're going to be immersed in that, and then
Exactly.
right, and then
Exactly.
Ronaldo broke
Exactly.
his foot, and then you're going to be immersed in
That's
that.
exactly what it is. Yes. That's
Right.
100% it.
Got
Yes.
it. So, right. So I hear you. I've had a similar situation in my personal life. When I moved to Mexico, I worked with a golf executive. He was
Oh, wow.
headhunted from the States. He worked in very prestigious resorts as a golf pro. He was
Wow.
headhunted here to head the golf academy for the Vidanta Hotel Group, which
Okay.
are one of the largest hotel groups in Mexico. They have 4 championship golf courses here alone. They're building more. It's like a big deal, like big
Yes.
deal.
Yes.
12-hour
Golf
days
is
all day
huge.
long. He was a workaholic. So
Yeah.
I understand what it seems like the challenges, what you come up against. It's really hard to sit down, to learn, to
Yeah.
have consistency, like reinforcement of a new habit. Got it.
Yes.
All right. Do you speak any other languages but English?
Unfortunately, not anymore because it's been such a long time. But I speak there's another language in South Africa called Afrikaans, which is very similar to Dutch, which everyone can pretty much speak. But to be honest, I have not said a word in the time that I've been here. And I tried to speak it the other day, and I was just getting completely mixed up. So yes, in theory, I have spoken another language, but I don't use Afrikaans at all anymore.
All right. So
English
next
is one.
question. Did you grow up speaking Afrikaans and hearing Afrikaans and kind of grew up bilingual in a sense, or not really?
No, a little bit, but that's purely. So I'm from an English-speaking family, so we didn't speak it in at home. But everyone in South Africa, if you either go to an English school, then Afrikaans is your second language. So you always hear it. I have Afrikaans friends, or vice versa. If you go to an Afrikaans school, you have English as your second language. So I didn't hear it as in like I grew up and my mom and dad are speaking to me in Afrikaans. I heard it just by a byproduct of living in South Africa. Yeah. But I do think that is a big, I'm not making any excuses. One can learn the language, just it is. I seem to find a lot of people just pick up Spanish like that, and I genuinely cannot at all. Well,
All right.
I can, but yeah, a lot of that is by no means an excuse. But I know a lot of like my American friends are like, no, it's so easy. We picked it up easily, but it's because they did it in school, and Spanish does not exist in South Africa at all. It's when I moved here, it's literally starting from scratch. Like I did. So that's the issue that I feel I have, is that I can speak basic and simple form of Spanish. And now and again, I can string a sentence together that is maybe more complicated, but then I don't really have that. I feel like I don't have that basis or foundation, if that makes sense, to like build on.
That makes sense. The reason I'm asking you all those questions, Stefan, is because I'm going to give you specific information that's going to be most effective for you because you have unique circumstances. So I'm asking you a bunch of questions first, and I'll tell you when I'm done, and you can ask me all your questions, and then we will jump right into it.
That's perfect.
And instead of wasting your time, I'm just gonna like gather some information and give you what you need to know.
No, that's perfect.
Okay, great. So
if I can ask, where are you from? Like, where are you?
Right, because you can't guess because of my accent, right?
No, I didn't read it in anywhere in your website or in your notes or anything, and I can't tell if you're American, or I assume you're not Mexican, but I have no idea.
Okay, so I was born in the Soviet Union, and my parents exited to Israel when I was a kid. So like basically from age 4, I grew up in Israel, went to school. So I grew up as an Israeli speaking Hebrew, plus Russian at home, plus a lot of Israelis, most Israelis, we graduate high school and we are very proficient in English. Put a lot of emphasis on learning English there. So I was bilingual. By the time I'm 20, I was bilingual. Russian is very rusty because I don't use it. Just like you and your Afrikaans, there's hardly anybody to speak Russian here with. So I might say like 5 sentences a year, if that.
Okay.
And I learned Spanish in my 30s when I moved to Mexico for a job.
Okay.
And also, So it's been kind of a long process, and I haven't found a lot of things that I clicked with. Like I would open a book and it would be like stupid grammar exercises and tedious paratorite and past perfect and whatnot. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even like, nobody thinks that way. Like a lot of native
Yes.
English speakers I worked with, they don't even know what paratorite means. We don't think in those labels. So it's really hard to organize internally that. And it was a lot of like too much like school, you know, like I was married, I had a job, it was like 10, 12-hour days. I did not have time, mental energy, space to do that, especially not, Danny went to school and ate a banana. If I'm going to use it tomorrow, this week, like to get on the right bus and do the right things, it has zero room in my life. Time efficiency is everything. So, all right, we'll get back to that. So my next question is, what have you tried so far to learn Spanish?
So I had classes early on when I arrived, and then just got caught up with like work life, and the person who I was taking classes with, she was very good for what it was, but I think it was literally just like a part-time job. And then she got COVID, and that kind of didn't turn me off, but we just really connected again. And since then, I just now and again used her notes. I have watched, when I watch series or watch a movie, I put on the subtitles, especially something that I know, like I've watched Friends numerous times, and it's just like, it's like go to sleep stuff. I'll put on an episode of that. So I know what's saying, and then I can read the subtitles, which I can pick up are actually not that accurate. But that's pretty much what I've done. Haven't really read. I do this silly thing, and I know maybe it might sound silly, but I do make a real big note of, if I send a more complicated email or message and I use the translator, I do try and focus very, very hard, very hard on what I've said, and I reread what I say in Spanish, and obviously I want it to make sense, so I have to like go back and forth to make sure that it makes sense in English, because therefore then I assume it makes sense in Spanish, and then I'll reread what I've written in Spanish, and I've gotten in that habit, so I know like some phrases and all of that. But that's about the gist of everything. Of course, I have Mexican friends, and if we go out with their larger groups, they all speak Spanish.
Okay. I'm gonna
of like 10 conversations at once, and
10 conversations at once. Let me hook up my Ethernet, so we're gonna have the speed internet connection instead of my Wi-Fi. One sec. Okay. Another question. Do you think knowing Spanish will help you make more money in your career?
I'm so sorry, can you repeat that? Will knowing Spanish make?
Right. Do you think that knowing more Spanish would help you make more money with your career?
Oh, I guess there's not really, I guess so. Yes. I've never really thought of it like that, but yeah, I guess it probably would. I probably would. But most certainly I would be a bigger asset. Like I say that I'm not like, I don't think that my job is in threat or whatever, but of course not having to rely on Spanish speaking colleagues to help with transcriptions. And we deal a lot in Spanish, from golfers to Rafael Nadal to a lot of people in Spanish. So yes, by virtue of that, yes, I think that it probably would help me make more money. And I guess if I were to move up the ladder, they wouldn't have to potentially send me to an English speaking country or whatever, because I could do that here and just function in Spanish. So yes, I think it would, but it's not a motivation for me to learn Spanish, but it technically would, yes.
Okay, well, yeah, down the line, if you on the hard days, it's kind of is sometimes.
Yeah.
We just had the Mexican Open in golf, 20 minutes from where I live in Vedanta. Actually, in one of their new golf courses.
Yes.
Barely just finished. So Mexico is everything about connections, right? They're all like friends from school and cousins, and a lot of even higher level executives don't really speak English that well. So just rich kids, you know, that just like kick around school and kind of guaranteed in life. So knowing Spanish in Mexico is a really good entrance ticket.
Yes, 100%.
I'm sure you've seen it yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So let's start with this. Did you download and read all the information that was included with your projects?
Yes. I've read through it probably about like 8 or so times. I tried, like, before I go to bed, just read through it. I did this sticky, I have no proof of it, but I have the sticky notes on like the fridge and in the mirror in my bathroom and that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
what did you like best about it?
Well, I mean, this sounds ridiculous because I mean, I've been here for quite a while, but again, with my lack of knowing like the basis and everything, I really found it easy, the kind of like the gluey words, like the connecting words, like estar and all of that stuff. And that made sense to me there on that. But other than that, I like that it was just very easy. And I like that just by, I don't want to say like doing the, not by doing the minimal, but by learning like 30 odd words that you can come up with so many different combinations of words, and that would be very helpful obviously in everyday life just to speak well, because I can get by. Like, I've literally been on dates with someone that cannot speak English and we understand each other, but I just know that my Spanish is a dreadful form of Spanish. But yeah, just pretty much that. It was very, very helpful, and I enjoyed like covering the word and only revealing the English, and then I just try to say what is being said, and I was accurate most of the time, not all the time, but I was accurate most of the time. So yeah, it was very, very helpful. Yeah.
Final question. What didn't you like about all the information you've downloaded?
Sure. No, and I'm not saying this because I'm speaking to you, but really there was nothing really that I read and thought I was critical or anything. Everything you asked earlier, obviously, of course, I went down the route of Duolingo. So a lot of like the super duper basic stuff, like all of that stuff, that I think I have a fairly good understanding of. It's just when it becomes like past tense, which you explained on your website and in these notes, when you take that second step, like I never know when it's like law or le or or any of that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'd be taking a shot in the dark. So I construct the sentence without saying that, and obviously the person can understand me, but it's clearly a broken form of Spanish, you know.
I understand. All right, let's jump right into it. Let me give you the overarching strategy, so you'll see the view.
Okay.
The information you downloaded, we have tried to make it as simple as possible. Everything that is explainable with a slide and a text, we have done that. Some things aren't as simple.
Yes.
If I had that magic pill, I would have been richer than Jeff Bezos. But I don't think that exists today.
Yeah.
So Spanish, we can divide it to like a three-story house. Ground level is that stuff, right? Just think about it from English point of view. Just like if I need to learn English, I must remember how to distinguish between he, she, it, they, we, are, am, is, are, was, right, like left, right, up, down, blue, yellow. Like several things which are still a lot, I must in order to progress to the next level.
Yeah.
What you have is pretty much a lot of it. Like when I work with private clients, the first 6 weeks, the majority of it is what you have, and then we add some vocabulary and then personal elements. Next, the intermediate level is about 60% of the language. It's very robust. And that is all those reflexives, which mean low refers to it, less refers to they or you all, you plural, may refers to I, and then you are actually dealing with 9 moving parts. The 3 scenarios: may at the beginning of the verb, me encanta, me gusta, may at the end of the verb, déjame, llévame, tráeme. Number 3 is say. Se me piden, se les buscan, se me dijeron, se digan, right? And then there's a split. So in Spanish, there's really 2 to 4 ways to say anything. There's multiple options. And one of the things we teach you is to make various combinations with the pieces of the Lego you have so you can proficiently express yourself.
Yes, that's something that I also really liked about that is it's very clever, and I never thought about that. Just by stating what time of day it was at the start of your sentence, you can pretty much transform that into present tense, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. That's something
great.
I also found very, very helpful. And I've practiced that a lot with like the lady that I'm seeing, and that, just transporting, if I'm not too sure, if I clearly have no idea what the correct form of the word is in like past tense or in future tense, I'll just add something at the start of the word, and I just feel comfortable then continuing the sentence without not sound like an idiot, but you know what I mean? Just sounding confident,
right?
and
it's a good crouch. It's like if I'm on a ski hill,
Yeah.
I've never skied in my life. I did snowboard once 20 years ago. If I'm on a ski hill, I'm not going to the Black Diamond course because I am not equipped to go there. So hopping around would be as good as it gets for a while.
Yes. So I like that, fitting the pieces of the Lego together with what we have and then kind of building from there.
Okay, so what you have now, if you're going to practice on your own time at night, on your free time, if you really internalize that, what you have, remembering as many words, pretty much everything there you ought to remember at some point, like off the top of your head, because it is just as useful as me learning English and saying that pretty much every week of the day, every day of the week. So the next step is understanding reflexives show up in interactions. There are several things in Spanish we cannot say in any other way that use reflexives. Te llamo, me llamas. Te espero, me esperan.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you, you wait for me. You call me. Those are happening when there are interactions. And there are 9 moving parts, like I said. So that is not extremely difficult to understand. It only takes a little bit of practice for you to get a grip on it and become good. That's the biggest element of time in there. It's like learning to drive isn't difficult, but it does take time to become a good driver.
Yeah.
The third level are the 5 past tenses. So the past tense will leave to the end until you recognize fairly well a lot of words and how they work, and you can accurately determine what it's not, because you know it's not a future, you know it's not a present, you know it's not a present progressive, you know what it's not. So when you see something new, you know for a fact it's not like any of those 8 things you've previously learned. Now, me showing you variations, you can make a logical connection, like, yeah, that word sounds similar to the root verb and to how this sounds, so it's not really a stretch to like, okay, this is a past tense, da-da-da, da-da-da.
Yeah.
The biggest element of confusion is that there are 5 past tenses in Spanish. Spanish actually has more time tenses than English.
Yeah.
And there are subtleties and things. If you open any blog on the internet, they'll launch into this like really educated, long explanation. The bottom line, nobody remembers those explanations.
Yeah.
Like, it's not how your brain labels things. We know them internally, but you can't really accurately catalog it and pull it out when you need it.
Yeah.
So when I work with one-on-one clients, it's 6 weeks for the beginner stage, 6 weeks for intermediate, 6 weeks for the past tenses. And then it's another 4 weeks of repetition. Like now we rotate everything. So like a cement, you know, like those trucks that roll the cement in so it doesn't stagnate. You do that and then you're pretty much good to go.
Okay.
Right? So because you're here alone, one of the other ladies, like she's in California time, she couldn't really do it today at this time. You end up being here alone, so I can customize a lot of the elements for you. Why don't you start with your questions and we'll give you all the information you need.
Okay. The questions like how so? What about the course or just about Spanish in general, or?
You can ask me anything you want. If you want to know more, like what is the possibility of working with me, if I can customize my time to yours or give you like a personal learning plan, that's great.
Yeah.
Um,
How does that all work? So how does that all work? Because also, not also, just in the immediate future, unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, I'm not too sure. In a month's time, I'm just going to be out of the country for 6 weeks on work. I'm going to Australia for the FIFA Women's World Cup for work.
how busy
So
are you going to be there? Like,
I
how
think
busy?
I think very busy, but I plan on studying, but I can't guarantee that I'd have like 2 hours free to kind of have like a session like this. And also on top of that, the time difference is, I think it's 16 hours. It's bizarre times.
All right, let me give you two components to my part of answering your question.
Yeah.
Number one, the optimal time for a length of a lesson is 45 minutes to 60 minutes.
Okay.
Anything below 45 isn't efficient because it's like lifting weights. Like if I like lift weights 3 times a week for 30 minutes each, I don't really see a lot of progress. It's going to take longer.
Yes.
After 60 minutes, a natural level of concentration naturally dips. You become mentally tired. And so it's not, you don't absorb optimally, so there's no use.
Yes.
So, anything between 2 to 4 hours a week for 45 or an hour each time is a good benchmark.
Oh, really? Just to learn and all of in terms of like lessons, you and I, or in terms of me
in terms
studying.
of either you and I, or it's a video lesson. If you're like super busy, there's several things that are already on video. You could like, absorb them.
Yeah.
I don't give a lot of homework. What I do is recommend that you write some practice sentences.
Yeah.
Let's say if you want to internalize, like just with the circles, I want, I need, I have to. Yeah. If you write 10, 15 sentences, you could do it in one evening, you could do it in 3 evenings, whatever works, it doesn't matter. But the fact that you do this, you internalize it to yourself.
Great. Yeah.
On a sticky note, go say it to the OXO. You're much more likely, like you will retain it when you use it.
Yeah.
Secondly, I have had a client in Australia. She was in Sydney.
Okay.
It was like 2 in the morning for her, and it was like Monday afternoon for me. So it did work.
It can definitely work, and I'd love to do it. I really have no idea if I'm going to be busy all day, and the reason why I say that is because I also, of course, it goes without saying, I also don't want to like bugger you around and like last minute be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it won't be efficient. I agree.
Yeah.
What you ought to think about, I can suggest you ought to think about it. If you do have a month now, the next 4 weeks, that your schedule is fairly stable, the way it has been until now, and you can put things on your calendar, you can get ahead, and you go off to Australia, enjoy your women's soccer time, do whatever. Like everybody needs a break. Mental break is good.
Yeah.
Then when you come back, if you still like it, we can pick back up.
I'd like to.
Pressure, you know what I mean? You're not in the system. There's no jail time. So.
No, I understand. Yeah. No, I understand. I really do, because I really do enjoy this method. That's another thing. Sorry, I keep on adding. You asked earlier what I liked about it. I also really like that. I had no idea, and I've never come across like Googling it or translating it. Just how easy it is. Like I have to, or whatever. It's just adding K at the end of it. Like that's just something super basic, but it opens up so many avenues for me, because like I said, what I started, my mind was blown, which sounds so silly and amateur, like the whole start thing, just because I didn't get it until then. And so that also helps a lot. So I would really like to carry on. I'm not just saying that because we're having this conversation. I genuinely would like to. I'm just putting it out there that definitely on the 3rd of July until like mid-August, I am just going to be in Sydney. But with that said, I do have actually quite a structured, because I'm going away and leaving for a while, I do have quite a structured setup for the next month. So for example, I'm free every second Wednesday. That's guaranteed up until I go. So I'm working this time next week, but in 2 weeks time, I'm free all of Wednesday. and then the other odd day, which I have a bit more in advance that I can let you know, and we can structure. If I can ask, sorry, and I'm asking.
Ask away.
Yeah, sorry. I hope it's not I don't want it to be like a touchy subject or anything. But is it not a touchy subject? I saw your reaction. It's not touchy
Okay,
at all.
well now I'm intrigued. So now you must ask me.
No, it's actually not bad at all. Just, I mean, we're speaking openly. Just like, what is the cost of everything and all of that? Like,
All right. Before I sell you about my program and everything else, I would like to take the time of the workshop and totally do it. So you can make an educated decision. You get even more information, see firsthand what it's like a full hour with me. Then you can really do an educated decision. Second, at the end, we'll talk about because we work one-on-one, and of course, I'll add you to a conversation group so you get to actually speak. There's an element of flexibility that I offer my clients. So it's not like a lot of them are working professionals, busy professionals. So I'm not gonna count you. I'm not gonna count the beans or this or that. We're gonna give you like a lot of freedom and structure. You can come, you can go. Do things. So you're not paying me by the hour. You're not paying me by the lesson. We're not gonna count all those things. If you end up like, you know, being away for long or like getting sick or whatnot, that's a bit like if you really have to skip a month, 2 or 3, then that's gonna get, you know, paused or frozen. But other than that, all right. So let's start. If you don't have any questions or elements you would like me to go over and explain in depth, I can show you something new that is not in all your slides that you have downloaded. And effectively, immediately, you'll be able to make even more sentences and speak more than what you already know.
Okay. Right? Awesome.
Okay, great. So open your chat, and I'm gonna put a slide.
Okay.
And I'm gonna teach you how to say ing sentences.
ing.
That's right. So in English, you take a verb, cook, think, buy.
Yeah.
You add ing, it becomes thinking, cooking, buying.
See what you mean, yes.
Right?
See.
And in English, we must use I am, you are, she is, she was.
Yeah.
In any case that you have an ing verb.
Okay, yeah.
Right? In other words, I'm buying, you're cooking, she's bringing, they're going. And we cannot say, I going, you buy, you know, she's sleeping, me showering. We don't say that.
Yeah, yes.
So, you know how you have your M, is, and are present time printout. Get that out. And I want you to take your pen. Take your pen and all the words that are after the column.
Yeah.
Right? All the words that are after the column, I want you to take your pen and write down. Works with.
Okay. So which one is this? Which page is this?
The one that is like all those jungle, you know, leaves on it, and it's titled M, is, are, present time.
Yeah. Let me quickly.
I can put it again on the chat if you need it.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem. It's probably titled. It's probably like number 2 or 3 or something. It's done. It's actually number 2. Print out Sarah and a star. It's right now on the chat.
Yeah. Here I am. I've got it. Sorry. So I printed. So what I've been doing, I printed out all the PDFs, and then everything else I just have them on my phone and on my other work laptop that I go through all the time. So it's just here on my other laptop. The am, is, are, I am, soy, stoy. Okay. So can you repeat what you'd like me to do?
Right. Okay. So because you don't have it as a printout, I'm going to say that verbally. And I kind of recommend that you do print them out at some point and like scribble notes on them. And then every once in a while you print it again and it's new and clean.
Yeah, so what I've been doing, I've been working off this, I have like a notepad thing. So I kind of like write on it and then I like erase it, almost like a,
Okay.
I can't think of the thing, but yeah.
I'm going to recommend,
yeah.
Regardless if you take more lessons with me or not, I recommend you get a nice long, big notebook like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like Sharpies, like nice big pens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because research has proven that when we write down information, we anchor it. Like as a species, our biology has been reinforced for several hundreds of years. When you write down something, you remember it.
Yeah.
On a touch screen has not been around long enough, so we don't retain it.
Okay.
So
we'll do that.
In English, we have am, is, and are, was, and were. That's all there is to it. It will be.
Yeah.
Spanish actually gives you two choices for each word.
Okay.
Depending if we talk about fixed quality or temporary position or location.
Mm-hmm.
Choose very precise words because it gives you a very precise internal image. All the words that are after the slash, like look at your printout.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones you pick to use for locations, actions, and emotions.
Okay.
So I am busy. I'm at home. I'm at work. I'm working out. I'm cooking. She's sleeping, right? Actions, locations, or I'm angry, or I'm in love, or I'm sad, right?
Yeah.
Those are the words you pick. So if you want to say I am, you choose a story.
Yes.
You say she is, or you are, since you're dating somebody, like, are you sleepy? Or are you like, are you okay? ¿Estás bien?
Yeah. Right? ¿Estás cansada?
Right? Are you working on Friday night?
Yeah.
¿Estás trabajando sábado noche? Or viernes a la noche, or whatever, right? So this is a little cheat sheet. Those are the words you pick. And then to make your verbs in Spanish an ing verb, all you have to do is you get rid of the R, or like literally you get rid of the last two letters, and you're going to plug in, just like Lego, get rid of something, plug in ando or yendo.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Click on the slide, the red slide on the chat, you're going to see.
Yes. Yeah, I can see it.
So Spanish has this really neat rule where every single verb under the sun ends with either AR, ER, IR.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a verb, verbs are actions, right? Actions and emotions are verbs in Spanish. Anytime they end with an AR, you're going to get rid of that, plug in ando.
AR, whenever it ends on AR.
That's right.
Okay.
Practice it a little bit.
This is basically for like future talk, right? Because you'll sort of like no, it can't be, because you can say I'm working, for example.
Right. So it's not really future. We have 3 times as human beings: past, present, future, right?
Mm-hmm.
As modern human beings, we have several time tenses that are called the perfects. Mm-hmm. This particular one in English, it's called present progressive.
Okay.
That one we use when we are doing an action that stretches over a length of time. I'm working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
She is sleeping. She's doing it right now, but it's going to stretch that right now is going to stretch for a while. I'm cooking, right? I'm buying a house. I'm driving to work.
Yeah.
So either it's like kind of a long stretched out present, or it's a repetitive action. Okay. I'm working Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
I'm working out 3 times a week. I'm visiting my parents every other weekend. I'm seeing this new girl. Like, you're seeing a girl, right? Like, that's ongoing. Mm-hmm. So in English, it's called present progressive. Probably called the same in Spanish. The bottom line is you have your list of verbs. Yeah. If you look at it, every single verb, get rid of the last 2 letters, plug in an ando. Yeah. cantando, amando, trabajando,
Yeah.
escuchando, viajando, bajando.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Okay. Pensando, estoy pensando, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm
This is
just
a really easy and effective way to augment your vocabulary straight away.
definitely. Absolutely. Okay, so that's AR, and that train, you take away the AR, words ending in AR, adding the ando, and that is the equivalent of an ing word in English.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Hope you have the chat open because I'm actually typing
Yes.
in the example as we speak, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm writing down. Yeah.
Work, cooking. Let's say you walk into a store. You are looking for new headsets, Bose headsets, or whatever your shoe size is.
Yeah.
I'm the sales clerk. You're like, hola, buen día. Estoy buscando dress shoes size 12, black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So estoy buscando. Now, this thing works in reverse as well. Let's say you're reading something. You're reading a transcript or a Facebook post. You're not really sure. In the first year or two, you're not going to understand everything you come across. You're reading something and you see those endo or ando endings, right?
Yeah.
Endo, I'm going to type it in. Anytime you see a word that ends with endo or ando, you can accurately assume it's a verb or an emotion, action or emotion, not a description, not a location, not a person, not a whatever. It's a verb. B, it's an ing, present progressive term, right?
Okay.
And what you're going to do next is look at the word ahead of it because it's going to be accompanied with I am, you are, she is, she was, we will be, etc. And once you know all of those, there's 37 of those words, that's going to tell you who's doing it at what time tense.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So did you print out your list of verbs?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Verb cheat sheet. Cheat sheet. Sorry. Cheat sheet. Yeah.
All right. Got it. So start with like whatever random page and focus for now only on the verbs that end with AR and verbally tell me how they would sound with ando.
Okay. With ando. Well, estoy limpiando. I'm cleaning, right?
Exactly.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah.
That's
okay, cool.
exactly right. Yeah.
No, yeah, sorry. No, yeah, okay. Estoy bajando. That one I have said before, because that's like when when you like order, I live on the 6th floor. So that's like when the pizza's here and their phone and it's like, yeah, estoy bajando.
Okay.
Okay. Estoy terminando. Estoy manejando. I'm driving. Estoy caminando. Caminando, perdón.
Caminando, right?
Yeah. Estoy pensando. Estoy viajando. Traveling. Estoy cocinando. I'm cooking. How would you say dar? Like for example, dar. That is DAR, like to give.
DAR. Okay. Dar, you get rid of the R.
Yeah.
You just say dando.
Oh, you just say dando. You just go like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Everything besides ear. Ear, if you get rid of the R, there's only one letter. So ear gets a whole set of its own designated words. Every single verb on your list would work with this formula. Wow.
Okay. That's amazing. Right. And then for IR, that changes to lendo, right?
Okay. IR and ER would be yendo.
Yeah. Yendo. Okay.
Yendo. And I'm going to put it in brackets. If you spell it with a Y as a native English speaker,
yeah,
you're going to produce the correct Spanish sound.
Yendo, okay.
Yendo.
Yendo in brackets. And that is exactly the same as the AR, except you're replacing the ando with the lendo. Yendo.
Right. In other words,
Yeah.
when you need to make an ing sentence,
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is look at the last two letters of the verb. If it ends with the AR, you plug in an ando.
Yeah.
If it ends with anything else but an AR, you plug in a yendo and you're good to go.
Oh, okay. So I'm just writing this down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're recording the call, so you can download and replay
I saw
it.
that. Thanks so much. I had such a terrible. I'm so glad you managed to figure it out. I had like the most embarrassing, like 2 weeks ago, I had a Zoom interview. I'm saying I had a Zoom interview for like a story, for like an editorial, story. And the Zoom record button just didn't work, and it was a big stuff up. So I'm glad it's recording well here, because I missed out on a story because of that, or anything else. Okay, well, I mean, just even that is like, I don't know. It's really bizarre, and maybe sure, fair enough, it shouldn't have taken like 18 months or however long. But I mean, just this opens up so many like avenues and everything, as opposed to me just like punching in the dark or whatever. I can literally just sit down, physically learn this, practice it, and it's already helped me like so much.
Okay. So yeah, this method was developed to deliver maximum efficiency. And like, because nobody has time to sit and learn like we did in like, high school.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
yeah. I'm so sorry. I think there's like a 1 second delay, so I keep on talking over you. I really apologize.
It's okay. It's fine.
For that, yeah. No, but you're absolutely right, because that's also something that I have not enjoyed. And what I enjoy about studying this, is because it's really helpful. I feel like after I've studied it or gone through it, I feel better off than I was before, as opposed to literally, I mean, also at the start, I'm on like page 10 of like about 300 of like a dictionary, where I'm physically just learning verbatim what it is. And it's like super depressing. And it's just like, I'm not taking an exam. You know what I mean? And it's just like, after a day's work, I just want to like, I'm so over this, and it's demotivating to then actually study Spanish. But this is actually like properly helping me. And again, I'm not just singing praises because we're having this chat or whatever. It really is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Work accomplished. Okay, so now look at some of your other verbs on another page. Ignore the ARs. Whatever you see, plug in a yendo onto it.
Yendo. Okay. Yendo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yendo. Yeah. Veniendo. Venir, to come. Oh, venir, to come. Yeah. Saliendo. To go. Abriendo. Oliendo. Smelling.
Very good.
Vendo. Okay, yeah, so that's the same as dar. We're just taking out the ER, and it's, it's crazy. You see, when I go through this stuff, it seems so basic.
It is.
Until I'm in a situation when I'm speaking to someone, and then I'm just like, oh, I have no clue.
Let me stop you right there.
And then I need like a tequila shot or something to carry on.
You do not need a tequila shot. It's a slippery stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can live and die by the sword. Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a reframe.
Yeah.
It is very basic. None of this stuff is brain surgery level. It never is. It really isn't.
Yeah.
The only difference is when you read it, you see it on Duolingo, we understand that. It's not hard to understand, but it does take time and practice. A lot of people on Duolingo, they're like, oh, I consumed the content, got it at a haha moment, onto the next shiny thing, the next dopamine hit. It doesn't mean you've internalized it. Like, right? Like, if you play golf, like golf isn't hard, basketball isn't hard, driving isn't hard, nothing is hard. Soccer is definitely not hard. The only thing that makes it good is the amount of times you've done it.
Yeah.
And that's where most people fail. If you don't like do it, and that's what we do with lessons. Because you have a commitment on your calendar, because you paid.
Yes.
And now you've literally locked off that time on your calendar and attention. And we're going to do that for 35 minutes. Every verb on your list, by the end of the hour, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
All right. And so if you got it now, but 3 weeks later, you look at it again, you're starting from down the hill again. Because it's been 3 weeks, you've done nothing. So that's where people fail. And yes, it's simple. It's just, consistency, new habit, 21 days of wiring your brain and anchoring in your habit. That's all it is during lessons.
Yeah. Would you say, and this is, and I'm so sorry, would you say, so it's not necessary to necessarily go through this every day, just about 3-4 hours a week is sufficient? Or
the fact that you live here, the fact that you live here, so you need gas for your car, or ordering, or paying, or you're looking for curtains, whatever.
It's in my face all the time.
Yeah, you're listening to things. It's so much simpler for you. You will advance more quickly than somebody who lives in Canada. Okay. I have retired clients. There's a few retired people who take lessons 5 days a week. Yeah. Because they're retired.
Yeah.
I did have workaholics that would do that, but it needs to fit your personal life. Somewhere between 2 to 4, it's kind of like a good balance. You have the weekend off, the whatever. We also need some time off. Like I can't squeeze it into your brain. You're not a turkey. I'm not going to fill you. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Yeah. I have funny examples sometimes, so please forgive me.
Yeah. No. It's all good. I'm going to use it.
So within about an hour of practicing this, you will anchor it. Now with this, you can do a lot more. Now let me show you how. Okay. So I'm going to type in a few English examples, right? She's okay. Right. Those are simple English examples.
Yeah. She's buying.
How about I'm going to be in Puebla next week.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to blah blah blah. She's not okay, she'll be working next weekend. You have a gray slide in your downloads that's titled "The Easiest Way to Make a Future Tense Sentence."
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it again here on the chat so you can see it.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Right. So there is a proper verb conjugation to make it a future tense.
Yeah.
Just like a yendo ando, you're going to unplug the R. Instead of plugging a yendo, you're going to plug in some other ending and it's going to become future. The only problem with that is A, you have to remember a whole bunch of new rules and regulations that go with that.
Yeah.
B, it's not as commonly used in everyday speech as this stuff.
Yeah.
This is the easiest, most effective way to say a future tense sentence.
Yeah.
So Voya means I'm going to, she's going to. Now you have a verb on your list of verbs that's called estar. Estar is literally right?
Yeah.
In a location, it's to be in a location or doing an action.
Yeah.
Because the other one is ser, which is like, because you have a fixed and a permanent and a temporary blah, blah, never mind right now. But I'm going to be in Puebla next weekend. I'm going to be in Sydney on August the 5th. I'm not going to be home all day tomorrow. I'm going to be home early. I'm going to be home late.
Yeah.
Voy a estar.
Sorry, what did you say first? What you said estar? Did you say something before that?
Right. I'm going to be someplace.
Mm-hmm.
The way you say that in Spanish would be
voy a estar.
estar.
Okay, yeah. Voy a estar in Sydney, Australia.
That's right. Voy a estar. You're not going to be no voy a estar.
Yeah.
Right? Has Stefan want to grab beers on August 15th? Nope. No voy a estar. Voy a estar in Australia.
Okay.
Right?
See.
So this is going to be in a location. Here is a second variation. Let's say you and your girlfriend are gonna move in together, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be looking for a place to live, looking for an apartment, looking for a new office space, whatever. We're going to be looking for, I don't know, gifts for her mom for her Mother's Day. Vamos a estar buscando.
Okay, yeah, see. Okay, and the only thing that's changed is because the vamos is because it's two people. It's
Vamos literally is used for we are.
Yeah. See.
Right? Or we will be. So here is a typical business world end of meeting. We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
In Mexico, we say, vamos a estar en contacto.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Vamos a estar en contacto. How long did it take you to learn Spanish, or how long did it take you to feel like, okay, I'm properly fluent in this? Like I'm comfortable to go take a course in biology studies in Spanish, and I know what's potting, like I know what's happening.
You're gonna laugh at me, but I don't mind. I'll tell you anyway.
Yeah, but yeah.
It took 11 years for the final piece to fall into place. And I internally knew the more advanced like time tenses and things. And I internally knew that hey means I and ha means they and how must mean we and what to do. Like I internally knew and sift and sort between all of those. Because when I tried, like I lived in Mexico City, right? I would go, right. So I lived in Satélite and I worked in Polanco.
Oh, amazing. Estoy en Cuauhtémoc.
Okay, Cuauhtémoc, right? Plus, when I moved to the city, I had a hell of a time, like Chapultepec and Cuauhtémoc. That was like Chinese to me. I was like, I had it in my phone, like those old Nokia, and I had to look at it every single day and look at the sign to make sure because I could not retain it.
Okay, yeah, that's like me. Yeah.
So I got lost, like it was 2000 and what is that? 2008. So there's no Ubers. I didn't drive. I would take a bus. I was on the freaking bus Friday afternoon in the rain, an hour and a half, one direction. So I figured out I'm an hour and a half in the wrong direction.
Oh no. Yeah.
It comes at you. That was my motivation.
Yeah. No, exactly. My motivation is just literally I have a number of motivations, but it's compounded when you kind of out with friends or with anyone, and you just can't really add to the subject, and then they just be really nice and change everything to English. But it's just like it shouldn't be like that. I'm in your land, not in your land, but you know what I mean. I'm living here. I've literally moved my entire life here. The least I can do is learn Spanish, which I do want to, but that is a huge motivation, and that would be a motivation for me too. I moved here when technology is as good as technology's ever been. So I have the luxury of just going like, oh yeah, let me just conveniently search and I'm good. So that would be my motivation too if I was in your shoes. But yeah, that's really interesting. That makes me feel it makes me feel good because I feel like inadequate after like so much time here, and it's just kind of like yeah.
I can tell you one thing. I've worked with a lady who has lived in Mexico for 18 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? And she lives in a rural place, like by the beach, and there's expats, but it's not the city. It's, a little bit like a rural thing.
Yeah.
And she tried different things.
Yeah.
But, time goes by and life goes by and da-da-da-da. And she was still hovering in that like beginner of the intermediate thing. She was a lot of things she didn't know. Yeah. Some of this stuff works very differently than how it works in English. And we need somebody to explain it to us.
Exactly. Well, that's what I've been searching for. I've literally thought I've been searching and I found you. I know that sounds super, it sounds like super dramatic, but really, because I've been trying to cram other stuff in, but it literally doesn't, it just does not make sense to me. So I'd like, hence why I'm like maybe studying verbatim, like little sentences, but it's not really, I understand enough to know that if I can get an understanding, I can apply that to everything else. And that's what I'd like to do, which this is doing. Like I'm learning something, you're explaining it to me, and it's just kind of like, oh, amazing. I can apply that and it can open up a lot of different words, a lot of different everything. Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Let me give you a reference point.
Yeah.
The good news is,
yeah. Yeah.
No, seriously, like from my experience,
yeah.
like teaching people in all kinds of like levels and ages, and some of them live here, some of them don't live here full time. The good news is within 6 months, you can learn what you need to effectively know to go out into the world, have conversations, interactions, understand, progressively learn. Like
Yeah.
the scope of the language that you need to get along every day, to live a full life, that scope you can learn in about 6 months, 6 to 8 months. If you sit with me twice a week for 6 months, you're going to have all the knowledge.
Yeah.
Now, how well you're going to juggle all those balls in the air, that's a different question, because once you're going to have the notes, you know, the slides, the recording, like the pieces of paper you're going to have, that knowledge is there somewhere for you, you own it.
Yeah.
How fast you can pull it in the moment, it's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you live here is a huge plus for you.
Yeah.
Big advantage, because your next dinner, you're basically going to use it. So
yes,
you don't have to take lessons with me for a year or 2 years. That's not necessary, because what it does is you're going to need to like sit down and practice. So the more you learn, the more you need to rotate, like grease the wheel, so it's all in motion.
Yeah.
But really, after about like, if you would put like consistent effort, 6 months, you're good. You can fly out the coop. That's the good news.
Yeah.
In your individual situation, now I don't know, you know, but it's like, okay, if your schedule is way too hectic and you end up doing like 1 or 3 hours a week, like if there's too much space, it's just like kind of like building muscle or working on your golf swing. You know, you'll just progress slower. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that's the good news. You're young, you're not 60, you're not 70, you live here. It's an attainable goal for you.
Yes, it definitely is. And I really do want that. Yeah.
All right, so let's continue.
Of course.
So these are some of the things that like kind of extras that aren't in all the slides. Number one is I'm going to be flying all day and not available. I'm going to be working all day Saturday. Voy a estar trabajando todo el día sábado.
Yeah.
Okay? Todo el sábado, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be really angry if that guy doesn't show up on time. Voy a estar muy enojado.
Yeah.
Right? If my soup is cold, for example.
Yeah.
So this is you combine future tense, going to future, plus something progressive.
Yeah.
Okay? Your girlfriend. Ella va a estar muy enojada if I forget her birthday.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. She will be very angry if I forget her birthday.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the type of things, like you can write down a few of those sentences yourself at the end of today, so you can like go and use them during this week.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm literally writing this down.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't mind.
Don't absolutely write down things. It's good.
Yeah. Very random question. Do you play golf, or you just involved in the golfing because of your
it really hurts my lower back. I used to surf. Really? It hurts my lower back. I'm going to the chiropractor. Get the golf, and the sun is really strong here, and like I can't be exposed in the sun a lot. Again, a lot of surfing. I've got like great golf courses where I live, but
okay.
Nah, not a golf player.
Are you a golf fan? Are you a sports fan at all? Or
not a golf.
Not
really?
really?
I mean, come on, watching golf on TV, it's like watching paint dry.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Right. Okay, so I used to surf. I'm on a hiatus now, but surfing, of course. Stand-up paddling. We hike a lot. I play darts and pool.
Oh, I love darts. I love darts. Darts is not a thing here in Mexico. Well,
I know.
At least in my opinion, you don't go to a pub, like there's never darts. And then when I go back to South Africa, like we'll have a family night and play like 4 hours of darts. And then the next day, like all these little weird muscles are so stiff and they're like so painful, like I've been working out, but I love darts. Are you good at darts?
It's a really intelligent game.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm not sure why they don't do it here, so whatever.
It's really not it's not a thing at all.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Lucky for me, like I live in a town with a lot of Canadians. Like there's a lot of snowbirds, all the Canadian people that come for the winter months.
Yeah. I can always picture. So my mom and I, we always had this was even before I left for Mexico City. Whenever I visited her, we got in the habit of every night when we had dinner together. This was like up until I left for Mexico, watching, there's a famous, like, it's a show called International House Hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're always in Puerto Vallarta or in like Cancun, and they were always like Canadians or Americans. Yes, I can imagine a lot of Canadians, and I can imagine that
so luckily we have some, that kind of style of pubs. So we have darts,
that's amazing.
All kinds of bean bags, all kinds of stuff. So like I live in a very international place.
That's awesome. That's super cool. How long have you been in Nayarit for?
I have lived here since 2010.
Wow.
12 years or so.
Yeah. Well, nice. Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool.
It's awesome. Really great. We have beach, we have mountains, we have rivers, we have waterfalls, we have everything. So it's pretty cool.
No, that's amazing. Yeah. My dream is to live by the beach, to be honest. That's where I want to live.
Okay, so now variation number 3, what you could do with a star, with the endo verbs and the future tense.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Read this one out loud and let me hear your pronunciation.
Okay. Voy a querer estar en Cancún antes de las 8 de la mañana.
Okay.
What was that out of 10? Like 6?
No, your pronunciation is decent. Totally decent. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm sorry. Would you like me to read that?
Fine. Read the second one.
Yeah. Vamos a tener que estar buscando un nuevo departamento o depa.
Mm-hmm. What do you think those two mean? Can you translate them?
Oh, yeah. So the first one is, I want to go to Cancun before 8 in the morning.
It's not to go. It's not the to go. It's a different verb. Try again.
Okay. Querer is like want, right? It's a form of want. Yeah, exactly. So I want to go to Cancun before 8 in the morning.
Querer is the root verb, to want.
Okay.
I'm going to want to be in Cancun before 8 a.m.
Okay. I'm going to want to be in Cancun before 8 a.m.
Whatever work situation you have, you want to, okay?
Yeah.
Right, try number 2.
The second one is we have to be searching for a new apartment.
Okay, almost, yeah. The good thing about those particular sentences, they work exactly like English. You literally translate every word from Spanish to English, you end up with the same sentence structure. Try.
Okay.
Vamos a. What does that mean?
We're going.
We're going to.
We're going to. Tener is have.
And tener que is have to.
Yeah.
That's
We're going to have to search for a new apartment.
We're going to have to be looking for a new apartment.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Amazing.
Number 3.
Okay. This is literally augmented to my work. I'm like transcribing. I'm like, I have to like play on slow-mo what the hell what Rafael Nadal is saying, and then I know more or less what he's saying, but this is literally like that when I'm transcribing. It's so cool. Okay. Voy a tener que estar buscando estacionamiento. That is, I'm going to have to be searching for parking, right?
If you want to eat in this restaurant, I'm going to have to be looking for parking space.
Okay. Okay.
So what really is beautiful about Spanish is when you learn like the building blocks, you can switch them back and forth. It's like Lego, right? Like you can build the sum of the whole is bigger than its parts, because with the parts you can make so many variations. All those other things on the mete, low, and sto and estas, they all plug in. So after a few months, when you know the core, I can unplug something, plug in something else, and you know, like, oh, that makes it all in the past tense. Or that makes she did it versus I'm doing it, right? Like, it's going to help you understand a lot more than what you're hearing and reading, because you see everything. Like, if this means I am and to be and cooking, it cannot mean anything else. So all the other things must align. So she's not doing the laundry, she's cooking, so she can't be doing laundry. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like anomalies, you can clear them out, focus on the thing, and then in light of this, that. The whole thing strings together.
Yeah, definitely. If I can ask, does this conversation get recorded?
Yeah,
I'm saying the typing.
The whole thing, from the minute we moved to Zoom and so the minute we hang up, everything we're saying is being recorded.
Okay,
knock on wood, right?
Not like me, but I'm saying even like the chat also gets recorded, does it?
I'm recording it to my desktop, so like maybe 15-20 minutes after we end, the whole thing is going to get compressed. I'll upload it to my drive and I'll send you the link. You're going to be able to download the notes and the conversation. One of the reasons I like using Skype is that Skype keeps our chat history forever. So you can log in next week and just scroll in and find everything is there. So that's one of the major benefits of Skype. But never mind, this is good. I can always email you something if you've missed it. No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So
thank you.
You're welcome. And if you want to scroll a little bit up, scroll up a little bit, there's going to be a notepad document attached called the Star Words.
Yes, I downloaded that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Download it. That explains when to use like relationships, gender, career status, blah, blah, family relationships. That's the fixed qualities. Actions, emotion, locations. That's the star qualities.
Yeah.
All right. So we got like 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Let's do something else. So this is kind of like giving you a taste. Hopefully that was efficient.
Yeah.
Well, let's give you something else. The Métis low reflexive subject is it's really robust and it's not really straightforward. It does things that do not exist in English. Like literally when I have to explain to you, it's like Alice in Wonderland. Your brain in English does not think like that. You have to explain yourself concepts that do not exist. That's why it typically takes 6 weeks to learn that subject.
Yeah.
But the payoff is that it's 60% of the language, so that's a really efficient payoff.
Yeah.
The gateway, the building blocks for that subject are those words.
Okay.
You want to memorize them as soon as possible?
All of if I can just ask all the words that you've written. So
all the words that I've written. right?
No, that's absolutely perfect. It's just, yeah, these are all the words that like scare me because I have no clue what they are when they just, yeah. And it's like lo siento, and so then lo, and then sometimes when I'm like translating something, then it's like the e, literally like air, and it's just, yeah. It's all these little words that
you need to like start from the step one, step two. Like there is a structure in place, because if you just go random and you get lost in the details, and it will never make sense.
100%, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
The note that I put right underneath it actually has everything you see on the screen.
Amazing.
Just download the note and save it directly.
Yeah.
And I copied the content of the note so we can look at it right now.
Thank you.
You want to remember, okay, now the choice of words here is very specific. May refer to I. Say refers to you. It does not mean you. There's only one word for you in Spanish, and that is tú.
Yeah.
Right? But just like the words mine, me refer to I, if you see them in an am, like you hear them, you know they're related to the I person, but they don't mean I, right? They're referred to. That's what's going on here.
So it's like me gusta, me amo, or no.
Okay, what does me gusta mean? Right? Explain it to me. I don't know Spanish.
Okay, I like.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so emotions are interactions. When you flow your emotion, like is an emotion, or love or hate, there's, if you tell me I like or I love or I hate, subconsciously I'm thinking who or what. If you flow that emotion, it needs to ping out of somebody or something. Yeah. It's never like, open-ended. When you have interactions, you must do those. Sometimes they're plugged into the verb, sometimes they're in the beginning, but the best thing you can do for yourself is start memorizing those. Yeah. Like shake you awake at 4 a.m. in the night. Yeah. You're going to know this. Okay. Just like you know the word cerveza. Yeah. Right? See. Because when you see those, there's going to be zero doubt in your mind what's going on there. Yeah. Okay? Now, for example, I'm not going to be able to teach you all this in one evening. If I could, again, I'd be richer than Amazon and Jeff Bezos, because I would have found the Holy Grail. But yeah. Would be nice. Take a verb. Some of the verbs on your list are interactions to look for. Yeah. You subconsciously think what or who. To eat. Eat what, right? To pay, for what or to whom, right? Some aren't. To sit down or to think, there's nobody else involved, it's only you. So that's not gonna work with may and take. Yeah. But the verbs that are an interaction, if you plug in, you get rid of the R, get rid of the R, and you're gonna plug in one of those may, te, nay people, nos people, you're gonna end up with this. Yeah, okay. So here you're taking away the R and you're replacing it with one of those words, which I'm taking out the R and I'm plugging in this, and now it's gonna be a new animal that does new things the other animals could not have done, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah, and for example, the buscarte is when you're referring to you. Or, right. Okay. So now I understand. Yeah. It's what I feel like I can't understand. I can't explain it in words, but I feel like I understand it. If that makes sense. If you understand which doesn't help you, because I could just be talking rubbish and like, but I feel like it's hard to explain, but I feel like I kind of get it. So when you say like, you will get it. Some things are simpler than others. Yeah. Like when as a one-off word on a screen, that's kind of easy to understand. It becomes more complicated when it's in the context of a conversation, like a larger story. He went, she told me, he told him. Then you gotta like follow the plot, who's doing what. That's when you get confused. Yes. Now I'm gonna show you the rule of how to decode it and what's going on. Okay. One of the rules is, firstly, if you see a word, any word, and it ends with one of those, maintain those, you can accurately assume it's a verb.
Yeah.
Because those things only plug into verbs. So it's a verb.
Yeah.
If you're not sure which one, unplug the last two letters, plug in an R, see if that looks familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What it means is that that person, the they, the may, whoever is plugged in, that person, he's the one doing the action. There's a bit more to it than this, but as a rule of thumb, 8 out of 10 times will probably be accurate.
Okay.
Buscarte. Okay. Also remember that in any conversation, there is the speaker and the listener.
Yes.
Every conversation is two people. If I'm reading an article, the writer is the speaker and he speaks to me, the reader. So there's an I and a you in every interaction, right?
Yeah.
It gets a bit more complicated when there's a I, a you, a we, a him, a she, a they, you know, like a group of people, then it's like, wow. But starting with the basics, when you see the word buscarte, buscar means to look for. Yeah. And then to look for needs whom or what. The te means it's the you person. Look for you. Yeah. Okay. Buscarles means look for them.
If I can ask, so if I can please ask, why does buscarte, why does the T not go away for buscarte?
Because te is a word by itself in Spanish. And
yes.
Is you person.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's only when it's te, when it refers to you, that you keep the word as is. Because I see then for like buscarle, there's, oh wait, I'm sorry. No, it's fine. I understand. I'm sorry. I think you just misspelled the buscarle, but I understand now because I was looking at that and there was minus an R, but I understand that the word stays the same.
I ran down the list of persons.
Yes, no, I understand. My apologies. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
okay, good.
Okay, yeah.
So what does that mean is that I'm not asking you to do something. It's not me telling you what to do. Like, hey, can you get me a piece of cake, please? Can you bring us another beer? Can you get us the bill? Like, I'm not telling you what to do. It's not that. That's going to be a different scenario, a different structure, right? I'm not asking you a question. Hey, what time it is? What time is the bus? I'm not asking you. That's a different structure. Those structures, that person that's plugged into the verb, he's the one that's doing the action, or he is the recipient of the action. In this case, the you person is not capable of going to search for themselves. Yeah. Right? So to look for you in English is buscarte. Okay? Let's bring it down to earth. I meet you at a conference or like some professional event, right? Yeah. And you have to go to lunch, but you're like, you know what? After lunch, come look for me. I'll be at conference room 5, right? Yeah. Literally telling some person, come look for me. I'll be there. Yeah. This is how you tell them, look for me. Yeah. It's one word, buscame. Right. Yeah. Why? Buscar is to search for. The may refers to I. Yeah. Okay. There is always a speaker and a listener in a conversation. The listener is not going to go search for himself. So it's obviously the other person talking, telling the listener to look for. Yeah. Making sense? Yeah. And that's like the words like, because I always hear and then understand like déjame and all of something with me. The may and the te are the most common ones. Yeah. Okay. Wait for me. Espérame. Mm-hmm. What is this one? Llamarme, call me. Call me, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just crazy. I don't know why I didn't. I landed here and like I should have phoned you the day I landed. That would have been. I'm saying when I landed in Mexico, I should have just phoned you immediately, like by magic. That'd be good magic. To go. Okay. Yeah. This is crazy. I really feel like I'm properly understanding this. Like I read it. Okay, I'm not saying like I can go off and talk this, but I'm just saying it's like the first little, like the connections are connecting kind of, and I just need to actually physically like study and practice this stuff. But I like on a gist, it's not like going over my head. I can understand it, and
the basic Spanish that I do understand, I can understand how and why, and because you're explaining it like how you are explaining it. So yeah.
That was my goal. Thank you very much. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So now tell me the last thing I typed in, what does that mean?
Yamale. So that
Yeah.
would be call him or call her, right?
Exactly. That'd be call him or call her. So now I put in a little cheat sheet where I took out from your list of verbs, I took out the ones that are interactions.
Okay.
In other words, you cannot tell buy her, cook him, or I don't know. You can't buy people or cook people or open or close people, right? Like,
yeah, you can't give him. Well, yeah.
Right. So this is like a little cheat sheet. If you want to work with those verbs and you plug in all those, you get a head start.
Okay. And plugging them in, how would it work for like what darme, right? Or not? No.
You firstly get rid of the R.
You always get rid of the R in this
Right.
case.
The root verb, which is when the R is, it's the name of the action, to give.
Yeah.
Look at the way it's phrased on your printout. To give, to call, to buy, to pay. It's not I paid, it's not pay me, it's not will you pay me, did you pay me? It's to pay. So anytime you don't want to use to pay, you're going to get rid of the R and it's going to convert it to whatever you need it to be.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Always get rid of the R.
Okay.
This literally means give me.
Yes.
So tell me, give me 5 minutes, please.
Dame 5 minutos. Dame 5 minutos, por favor.
Yeah. Tell me, give me another taco, please.
Dame un otro taco, por favor.
There you go.
Is that right? Or I don't necessarily have to say it can just be dame otro taco. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. And this can also be like, I'm sorry, I'm just reading what it says, a list of verbs which flow between two people. So this latest cheat sheet that you gave me, the 6 list of verbs which flows, that is only for a 2-person conversation. It doesn't work if you add like a te or something like that. It's only for me and le.
Well, firstly, you can plug in to those particular verbs. You can plug in all the persons which are in your previous note, me, te, le, nos, that whole list. Now,
really?
Note, some of those interactions would only work between a person and an object.
Okay, yeah, so it's I'll probably never come across that. I'm not going to be,
Well, to open and to close is an action you can do on a thing, not a person.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So close it, turn the volume up and down, right? Lower it, raise it.
And that would be low, right? So I just want to quickly check. So it would be abrielo. Okay, I've heard that. That's correct, right?
It's not? Almost, because I heard you say the R. So try saying it without the R.
Abrilo.
Abralo. Exactly.
Abrilo.
Abralo. Some of them, by the way, some of them conserve their form. So you literally just get rid of the R and the whole verb looks the same. Others kind of get a fix. They kind of get an anomaly. Sometimes the A disappears or the E disappears or something else appears. It's not frequent and there's no use stressing over it. But sometimes it won't work as you would expect and you just accept it.
Yeah, okay. With abralo, because I see that's changed completely from the I and all of that. It's gone to an A.
That's right. Abrir. Abralo. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. There's a bunch of weird rules, but it doesn't matter because you're going to end up with a really big book of rules, which you're going to have to carry everywhere with you, and it serves nobody.
No. Yeah, it's what you explained at the end of your notes or whatever. I don't care if I can speak 90% of the language. I don't need someone hen-picking like the one tiniest little mistake that changes absolutely nothing. Because I don't do that in English. Like I find I've not met anyone this is just personally me, and I don't hen pick that, but it's just I've noticed everyone that I speak to, even someone that's Mexican who speaks fluent English, like works with me but is Mexican and speaks fluent, they'll always get I have 33 years instead of I am 32 years. But I'm saying I wouldn't henpeck on that, because I know what the heck they mean, just as I won't want anyone to henpeck where I've spoken perfect Spanish 90% of the time and I say like one little thing wrong that's like that is like the odd geez, the word escapes me even in English. It's like the one the one rule change or whatever, because they'll understand what I'm saying in any case. So
right, I understand what you're saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
I work and I'm in professional environments online.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of softwares and I have like,
Yeah.
forums, but I'm in contact daily with people from all over the world who speak English, Dutch,
Yeah.
from literally any country in the globe. They're all speaking different, a little bit different. And like, I understand it's a highly educated person and intelligent. His English does not sound like the American stuff a native would say, which is fine. It doesn't take away, like you can't sound like them anyways. So
Yeah.
it's literally global language. It's all good.
Exactly.
Plus, if you learn a new language after the age of 25, if you're in your 30s and over, you're not going to speak it perfectly for a long, long time. It's just the way it is. So
yeah, exactly.
Whoever nitpicks you has never done it themselves.
Yeah,
it's easy
exactly.
to criticize. If
Exactly.
you had done it, you would know.
I know. All the people, like, they're saying it in a very tongue-in-cheek and a very nice way, because Mexican people are so friendly and so like welcoming. It's crazy. But and I say that as a compliment, by the way. Sorry, I'm not saying it's crazy. I'm saying it's crazy like it's a crazy good thing. Like, yeah, in the office, there'll be the odd comment like, why don't I know? And I know for a fact that this person has lived his entire life in Mexico City. He's never moved to the equivalent of like a Beijing to learn Mandarin. Like, don't come with your little backhanded comments. Like, I'll get there when I can. Like, yeah. But I'm saying I'm not offended. I know where it's coming from, but I want to escape that and just speak Spanish.
Okay.
If I can ask, sorry, is this like your full-time job, or is this like a side gig? When you said like you work online and lots to doing this, or is it just like a bunch
it's my full-time. It has been my full-time job. I'm in the process of filming a lot of my lessons. Whatever is simple enough to explain in a video lesson, I'm doing that now and doing it online. A lot of people I find want the one-on-one personal live interaction because they find that helps them learn better.
I like that.
It does give faster results.
Yeah.
But a video lesson is a great way to augment things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like worked with ClickFunnels and email automation, all kinds of things. And in the forums, a lot of people answer and they're like from everywhere.
Yeah. Wow.
And, I have a lot of digital nomads where I live.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks English, but a little different. Like even the Americans speak different between themselves. So.
Yes. Okay. Amazing.
All right.
Okay.
So now tell me about your schedule. You have a month here.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest we could schedule 2 to 3 lessons a week.
Yeah.
More or less your personal choice. You tell me.
Okay.
I can give you flexibility.
Yeah.
Like, so every other Wednesday and every other Thursday instead of Tuesday, whatever. Like if our schedules would match, we can match them. After a month, go away, have fun. If we see that we can schedule from Australia with your time off and the time difference, we can definitely continue. If not, take a pause for 6 weeks.
But bear in mind that I'm going to be taking all the stuff with me. Like, I do want to like go through everything while I'm away. I can't guarantee, like, I mean, I'm sure I will literally have like 2 hours, but that will be like after a really busy, hectic day when I'm doing a lot of like edits and all that.
Anything you learn, okay.
Yeah.
Pretend whatever sport you're good at. What kind of sports? Okay, you're good at darts, right? Like you play it 4 hours every family outing.
It is muy amable. It's very. Okay. You
imagine you teach me darts.
Yeah.
Right. So like I suck. Like I want to hit the target more. So you spend a month working with me. 2-3 nights, you know, a week with the darts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine it when I'm taking like 6 weeks off because I'm traveling. If I'm going to slide down that hill very fast, and by the end of the 6 weeks, I have to start from scratch, then you weren't a very good teacher and I wasn't a very good student.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you.
It's the worst case scenario, and there's no logical reason why you should, like, your memory would be completely erased.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? Yeah.
So nothing big ought to happen. You're going to come back a little rusty. It's like going back to the gym. You haven't worked out in 6 weeks. Like, you're a bit rusty. It'll take you 3 weeks. You'll be up to par again.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, then I mean, like I'm free on Monday and Tuesday, for example, next week.
What times? Let's talk specifically. I can tell you if my calendar can coexist with yours.
Yeah. So what time would you be free on Monday? Like, if you can.
Monday. So
Monday or Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with this. While I open my calendar, the recommendation is 2 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Anything 2 is a minimum. Anything that lower than 2, you'll just progress. You're gonna have to push that rock up the hill every week from the same point. So
yeah. But
you know, it's better than nothing. Better than nothing, but it's not optimal.
What's the perfect for you? 4 times a week.
Let me give you the information. You'll make the decision.
Okay.
Twice a week is a good minimum. People who have busy lives, busy mental, just don't want to feel like they're studying that much.
Yeah.
It is good. Across 6 to 8 months, 8 to 10 months, 6 to 8 months, you're going to learn everything you need to know. So if you're not in any particular hurry, you appreciate your quality of life. If it's 8 months or 10 months, doesn't make a difference to you. I'm not in a hurry either. You know, no problem. No pasa nada.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can keep it hover that twice a week level. If you're a bit more motivated and you have more free time and space, 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes even 4. It seems to me like for you particularly, 4 times a week might be a tall order. You got a lot going on, you know, you're dating somebody, maybe 4 times a week is a bit too intense. What do you think?
I think it might be. I think it might be like that. I could physically do it, but I don't want to sound like I'm complaining or whatever, but I feel like if I'm doing it and I'm properly forcing it down, I don't actually really
don't force.
enjoy
Let me stop you.
Yeah.
Do not force. It must integrate into your lifestyle as it is today.
Yeah.
It should it should integrate. It's not should be like glued in with some foreign object like meteor crashing into your life, making a crater. Like, you won't be able to stick with it.
Because for example, today, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not even sure what I expected, but genuinely from my side, I genuinely enjoyed this. Like, I really actually genuinely enjoyed this, like learning and all that. Whereas it's not to say I didn't think like I'd hate it, but I thought it would be like, it's a bit of a hack, or, you know, like I'm doing, but I genuinely really, really enjoyed it. So I can 100% do 2, and I'm very certain that I can do 3. I'm very, like, for example, next week, for example, 100%, I know that I'm free Monday, Tuesday, and firstly, is it a Monday to Friday gig, right?
Right. So it's Monday to Friday. We always take the weekend off.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
We always take the weekend off. It's good for everybody all around.
Of course.
It's just good for everybody all around.
So
Friday afternoon, I already have lessons. I give all my other clients too, like flexibility. So
it's very like whenever,
right. Like, so if you need to accommodate, like, I'll accommodate them. Sometimes I'll ask somebody, hey, like, Stefan, do you mind if somebody comes into your lesson because they couldn't take their own, they were busy, and then you can come to theirs. There's a lot of like, but okay. So what do you want to talk about? 2 or 3? What's your gut telling you that's like a good, safe bet, comfortable option?
I think we can start with 3, and then if it's too much, drop down to 2. So generally, even though my shifts are all over the place and they're very structured for the next week, for the next month, in general, how it works is the 1 week I'll have like about 2 days. I'll have 2 days off, and then the next week I'll have 3 days off, which would include the weekend. So I can see that every second week I could do 3, but then every alternate week I'd be able to do 2, because it just works like that, because the times that I'm working is on the weekend. So I have more time off during the week, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'd almost, so 1 week I could do 3, the next week I could do 2. Because I think I wouldn't like to do a lesson after a day of work, because I know just 8 times out of 10, I just won't be able to concentrate after like a 10-hour day, and it tends to be quite intense. So I'd like to do it like when I'm free. Like I was free all of today. And when I say I'm free, it would usually be like during the week, and I would literally be free the entire day, because obviously my girlfriend, my friends are working themselves. This is the equivalent of my weekend is a Wednesday free. Yeah.
Okay. Next, I will suggest, right now, we're talking specifics. We're trying to match our calendars and our times to see if it works.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a working assumption for 3 times a week. Now, within the frame of the next 4 weeks, if you discover that 3 times a week doesn't work out for you logistically, or you're too tired, or you just, you feel better with 2, whatever reason it is, we can take those unused classes, roll them over into the future, so that when you come back from Australia, you have classes you can take. You haven't taken them, you've paid for them, they just kind of got rolled into the future.
I understand. Okay, yes, I understand. They kind of like tokens, or they're not. It's like credit almost thing. Yes, I understand.
Does that make sense? Is that
it makes sense? It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, because if we can't find 3 days that work for us, then we have no dilemma. It's gonna be 2.
Yeah.
So let's start with that.
I can 100% do 2. I'm just telling you, I can 1,000,000% do 2. I just don't know if the 3rd day is going to be the camel because definitely the 1 week I won't be able to do 3. I can do.
Which week would that be?
So that, for example, would be next week. Next week I'm free Monday, Tuesday. I'd be free the Monday, Tuesday, and the Friday. But then the following week I'm free Wednesday, Thursday. Like, for example, I'm free tomorrow. And I'm technically free tomorrow, but tomorrow I do have plans, so I can't do it. But the thing, I'm really not just saying this. I'm going to work I'm like any decent person. Like when I make a commitment, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? So my schedule